So, having made a couple of these Krasnogorsk crystal motor modifications already, and I learned some tricks, maybe not, but one good way to block the light leak from here is to use either O-rings or some other those. Do I have them? There's the box. So what I did, I put, which one it was? Was it this? I cut the center out and then put this there, or 2 or 3 O-rings also works. So something, some kind of rubber ring inside cavity in the plate. It looks like this, if you remember. So in here you need some rubber thing which blocks the light leak from the, well, usually there's about 1 millimeter gap between the plate and the, so you can see this. It's not here by accident, so it's 0.5 millimeter thick spacer to get the plate tilted just a tiny bit. You can see it. No spacer, just tiny bit of spacer, and I, when fine tuning, I added some tiny bit of spacer here. There's a piece of aluminum tape holding it there. So when the motor is installed, it doesn't go anywhere from here. So the tape is just to hold it in. So I use, what's this, 1/4 millimeter thick stainless steel. The same stuff that I have here on this tool I use, but I got it from the circuit board sheet made, so it's stainless and everything. It's good stuff, but you can see this drive actually is often tilted, so it's not perfectly on level. You can see the tilt actually there, so it's usually about 1 degree or something compared to the center line. So the motor needs to be tilted, and coincidentally the plate needs to be tilted usually. Not on every camera, but most cameras need tiny bit of tilt. And it's so precise that you have to adjust it individually on each and every camera when installing. So that's why it's sometimes a bit tricky to install this, because you kind of need to know what to look for, or more specifically you need to know what to do it if it sounds different. But if it sounds bad, then it's probably the tilt angle is wrong. And you can see that I have, here's the original short axle adapter. Looks like this, and here's the longer one I made. So there's was just, it's not a meshing error, but when they made the threads on the holes, then they didn't remove the bore inside. So I needed to drill this a little bit. But let's see. So it's just longer version, almost the same but longer. So it has more safety support axle here. So this much more securely, and I am going to start to use these on the modifications I am making personally. And this has, so you can see the straight edge here on the axle, and on the long, this original version, you sometimes needed to use some metal file to make the angle here if needed, but I added this to the CAD file, so these have the angle machined already, and it's longer axle. The only it needs slightly more work because you will need to make a cutout to the camera front if using the longer. This old version doesn't need to cut out, it's used because of that. I originally designed it so that it doesn't need to cut out. This does need to cut out because the shaft is so long, so you can see it goes over this edge. And the cutout, you can see, let's see if I can get to the profile. Here's what kind of cutout it basically needs. This is made with metal, so which is the fastest way to make this, and these are hidden underneath the plate, so it doesn't matter how you do this cutout, but it needs to be there because this cutout is needed for the locking screws, and this is needed for the adapter. So it's just some millimeter, but it doesn't work properly without. And if you have the original spacer, I tested it because usually these are steel. On some videos I said this is aluminum. It's not, it's steel, so it's magnetic even. So especially if you use this adapter, you have to cut the whole spacer because you're needing relief on the camera front too. So you will need to cut the whole spacer, and that's easier to do than the relief for the axle. And because this is steel, so I tested it on my own camera and then just started to doing it, all the modifications, because it's steel, so it holds together if you cut out the piece from here. So you will use a Dremel, or maybe angle grinder might even work, but Dremel kind of small multi-tool is basically perfect for this. So you will just cut a piece out of here and then try to make the edges a little better, and then it's easier than making the very complex partial cutout. Just for the axle itself, it's easier to just cut this whole piece out. And these are good, but this need manual finishing, and I'm thinking, because I ordered more of these, but the issue with this is that it's basically that much of length on an axle which holds it in place, so it's not as secure as this. And I added extra holes. Normally you will just use these 2 holes to mount it, but there's extra holes just in case you ruin these threads. But I'm thinking, because I charged money if people wanted to include this adapter with the signet, so I'm thinking I'm just giving these older adapters if ordering the motor and the plate, then you will get this adapter for free. You will need to pay for this longer one, but the shorter one would be included with the plate. So as long as I have them, I'm probably not ordering more of these, because on my own modification I will use these from now on, the longer one. Just because it's a bit more secure, so I don't want to get these cameras back for servicing. So if I make some mistakes, and I don't want to get this back because the adapter, the screws won't loosen or something. So I want to use these on the modification I'm making here. If you are making your own modification, then you can just tighten it if needed. Then better to just lock this in place, with Loctite or something, or super glue or anything. But the good trick was this. So the likely would be an issue, but putting some kind of rubber ring here locks it perfect, and then I have the foam tape here just in case. So this blocks anything which might get past the rubber, but if a tiny bit of gap should not matter. So the 1 millimeter gap does, but if it's like 1/10 of a millimeter, then it shouldn't. So it's not that absolutely precise. Let's see. These are difficult to make it one hand because I put the foam tape so that you can see what I did with the foam tape. So this fixes the gap from here, and the rubber fixes it from here. It really is that precise, but you can see no gap here, not at all. It does work fine, and when the camera front comes here, then it fixes it here. Trying to break this customer's camera. Yep. So the rubber gives away just a tiny bit and then fixes the gap. Perfect. So I'm locking these screws. Probably with super glue, I think. Now when the adapter is perfect, and with the newer adapter, or if you widen the shorter adapter, then this would be pretty optimal position. It is possible to mount all the way, but it's because this is designed so that you can, let's see, I'm moving, you can see it has just a tiny bit of gap. It's intentional. It's not by accident I designed it so it has tiny bit of gap to compensate for tiny changes if needed. And the reason is that we don't want to wear down these bearings here. So it's not a good idea to make the completely fixed joint here, I think. It's possible but I don't think it's the best idea because it will cause more wear on the bearings. These are just some bronze bearings, nothing fancy. So you can change this, take it from another camera if it's approximately the same tilt angle. It's not the same on all cameras, but it's usually the same, similar enough. So it's possible to change the barband. This is pretty good now. So I will lock down the screws and closing this. You can see why the cutout is needed. You can shorten the screws, especially if mounting the second set of screws, then you pretty much must shorten them. But removing that off like from there. anyway, I'm locking these screws and then continuing. But I can already close this, and I need to center the viewfinder prism because I'm removing these when drilling these holes. So I'm removing these and the movement to drill safely these. So I'm mounting that back. I was thinking of making smaller plate which doesn't need these screws so that it would be easier to install, but I know that there's a couple of different Krasnogorsk modifications coming soon this year already. There are some which are based on this motor or the kind of similar kind of module which has the same controller I'm making. But there's the Russian modification and everything, and I heard different motors available, so there's something like 8 or 9 different motor options for Krasnogorsk already. So I'm thinking I'm continuing with this, and I could make a motor which has the plate included, for example, but I don't think it's necessary. There's so much options for the Krasnogorsk, and I think my 3D printed motor is pretty optimal, and there's probably this installation, the plate installation and the motor installed, probably those are available from a technician who makes the Super 16 and PL mod conversions. They will let you know about it when they have tested this first. They want to test first how it's like to install this. And if it's this product or something else, they will order. But they will likely start to offer the whole deal. So Super 16 modification and the PL motor, other EF motor, every different lens mount modification, and then the motor installation with the plate. Or they might design another plate, but at least with these plates if needed. So there's so much, and they might offer, I don't know, but they might be interested offering the 3D printed motors readily installed. I don't know, but I can ask. So there's so much different options for Krasnogorsk that I want to see first how this go, and if people want me to design another version or something. So let's see first how this goes. And this is it fourth or fifth camera I have modification? It's the fifth. So there was the Krasnogorsk 2, then Krasnogorsk 3 with the 10 speed, and then I have the M40 Krasnogorsk, then this, and then there's a PL mount camera on the side which I'm modification and modificating at the same time, but I'm finishing this first. So I have another camera in this condition, but not this cutout made yet. So it's almost the same. And this needs the engine knob protection ring. But anyway, it's almost finished. I'm just locking the screws and then starting to center this prism. But so these adapters need more work, but otherwise they work fine. They work fine, and I'm probably offering these older versions for free someone buys this motor and the blade, then getting this for free. This is more expensive than the blade, actually, because it needs this center hole machine precisely. So this is more expensive than this, believe it or not. But I'm giving this for free, probably. Not the blades, because the blades are good. Anyway, it's not that much more work to cut this. It's a little bit more work, but not that much. You can see there's 3 sets of screws. I just added extra ones just in case someone manages to break some threads here. So on the older version, there's only these 2 which can be used, and nothing else. This one has 6 screws which can be used if needed. So this is better. It's more expensive, but it's better. This one is free now, so until I run out. How many did I have? I think I have 6 maybe. There's more in the box, but I need to check it. There's probably 6 more. 6 or 7 maybe. And more engine knobs. Difference. It's from the same place, but it says the anodizing is varying from batch to batch. You can see this is more shiny and the surface is tiny bit rougher than this. This is more matte. So it's almost the same, but not exactly so. Yeah. And people seem to like the black motors, so I'm trying to offer this more. The cold. I did. There's another camera. The cold color motor is cool, but people don't understand bling thing with this camera, so they want. I'm starting to offer the dark gray color too, again, because just people want these safe colors. Of course, it's the same color than the camera, so I understand it, but I still like the gold more. I'm using gold color engine knobs. Anyway, that's non-negotiable because these are much better. And on the engine knob, it's beneficial that it's recognizable color, so you can find it easily. So making this black is not optimal. It needs to be something bright color, or at least aluminum color, or pink or red or blue or something, but not black, because you can find it quickly. Black color motors. This is matte black, and it kind of looks like plastic. This is aluminum all the way, but it kind of looks like plastic too much with the surface finish. So I ordered the next batch with the shiny anodizing. This is matte anodizing, but shiny anodizing on the next batch. So it looks more metal than this one. This one looks like plastic, even if it's not. But the only difference is the surface finish. Anyway, so I'm starting to adjust prism. I'm probably doing it differently, so I'm let's see. Anyway, so closing this temporarily.